symptoms, headaches, chills, tiredness. But we've had some really weird ones. Yours would be right up there. I think we have had some. We've had been reported that as a side effect. 102 people have written into the archive to say.
M56 eastbound at 11 from Preston Park. We've got a broken down vehicle, so one lane is shut, but we can get past it at junction 11. M606, we're partially blocked at the M62 at Chenhall, vehicle on fire, so at the moment we can get past it. M1 northbound 39 to 40 towards Ossett, don't go on the carriageways to take care, there's a lane closed there where they deal with it. And the A1 North London at Finchley, there's a broken down vehicle northbound, just stuck past the North Circus, there's some congestion around there. M25 clockwise, 24 for Potters Bar on the opposite slip road, we've got a breakdown, take care, again, we can get past. And the latest on the A34 at Chiltern, northbound, it is still closed with this early road stop between the A4185 to the A4130, which is the Milton interchange. Queues back to West Ilsley and through Barwell, Oxford is a depot, so give yourself time. And then finally on the rails in Cumbria, delays of up to an hour on northern things because the brakes falling at Workington. Back with another one, Steve.
Thank you. Next, the walrus that arrived on the coast of South Wales.
Welcome back, men. I just wanted to let you know that I now say Natch at every opportunity. I give you the credit, Natch.
Lisa Tarbuck.
Thank you. On Radio 2. The noise my cockatiel has learned is the dog squeak you do. Pearl does it all week to wind up next door's dogs. I got that in a supermarket on the Algarve.
Lisa Tarbuck.
The weekly meeting of like minds and music to hopefully delight you.
Listen now on the BBC Sounds app.
So, an Arctic walrus that normally spends its time in Greenland had
Calculating.
mammals with large flip.
Prepare to turn left after 1 mile.
Mythical creatures, or maybe an animal that we only ever hear about in that song. However unlikely it may sound, it seems that this walrus came down on an iceberg, made a little detour to the southwest coast of Ireland, and is now in a Welsh cove. One eyewitness, a man called Anthony Fitzgerald, who saw the walrus in County Kerry, Ireland, gave his best impression of what he'd seen. suddenly I heard. That's brilliant. How did the walrus make such an extraordinary journey? Maybe you live in County Kerry or in Pembrokeshire and you
Calculating route.
bbc.co.uk. Please, when you write your point down, also include your phone number so we can get back to you. We're joined by Alan Houlihan, who first spotted the walrus on Valentia Island, County Kerry, while walking with his daughter Mern, and also by Ellie West of the RSPCA. So, Alan, you saw this animal.
Yeah,
Quarter mile, turn right.
and Mern spotted something in the water. I thought it was a seal, so I made my way over with my phone out and started recording to send back to my own children. And lo and behold, a massive walrus jumped out of the water and did a little show on the rock. And I don't know if you've seen the footage, but that's it went viral.
See that?
Take the next right.
Did the impression of the walrus, was he at the same scene or was he later on?
No, I called a friend who brought Anthony along, and the news.
Prepare to turn right after 1.2 miles.
I think that if Pixar want to do a movie of it, I think that they need Anthony to do the voice of the walrus.
How was your daughter during all this? Because she's only 5, it must have been quite a thrill.
Oh yeah, sure. She thought the walrus was in the party and that it was just a big daddy one, and she really enjoyed it. I brought her out yesterday for an adventure, and she turned around to her mum and she said, today I'm probably see a penguin or a polar bear.
What kind of size is the walrus?
The walrus is big. It's I describe it as the size of a large bull, so you can imagine that coming out of the water beside you.
Absolutely, and you don't see them very often, to say the least. I mean, at zoos, I guess, but I'm not sure when I've last seen one. I mean, that's it, but never in the natural environment.
No, I like my father's a fisherman, so I spent my younger years fishing with him, and I've never seen anything like it in the water before.
Was it distressed at all?
I thought it was a little tired and kind of it trembled a bit, but I am just delighted that it's still alive and that it's made its way over to you guys.
Well, yeah, it's got over Wales. Yeah, do you know how it made the trip to Wales? Just swimming or floating?
I don't know, probably kind of riding on an iceberg, I'd say.
Well, maybe that seems to.
Prepare to turn right after half a mile.
They're just gone over for a time.
Yeah, gave up on you. Yeah. Thanks, Alan. And good luck to you and Mum. Thank you so much. They were a lovely story. Father and daughter, age 5, and they see a walrus. Ellie West is from the RSPCA there, Animal Rescue and Wildlife Officer, RSPCA Cymru in Wales. So I guess we have to do some warnings here, Ellie. People will be starting to go down to have a look.
Yes, that's correct, and this is our sort of main message really. Obviously we're still under lockdown and there's all sorts of COVID rules to be following, and we're pleading to people not to be going out trying to find it, and certainly if it is spotted.
After 300 yards, turn right.
Media and encourage lots of crowds to it. That's the last thing that this walrus needs, so we really need to be getting that message out, and of course not disturbing it. That's really, really crucial to the walrus.
With your expert eye, can you see if it's happy or a bit distressed?
Personally, obviously I've never ever seen one before, so
Take the next right.
we never know what we're going to go to. Certainly when I saw him on Saturday, he was hauled out sleeping for a large majority of the time, and of course sleep is really important to any animal.
Calculating route.
And of course after a very long journey like this one has had, and then at the end of the day, so just before sunset really, this one did venture off out to sea and swam off.
Prepare to enter the roundabout after 1.3 miles.
To it now, would you?
Yes, well, we have been monitoring this walrus again today, somewhere else. We're not going to divulge locations because that's completely detrimental to the animal. We don't want lots of people monitoring him and seeing where he is. But we've been seeing him. He's actually been in the sea swimming today, almost purposefully diving. So there's a chance that he's actually hanging around this particular area today and feeding, we're hoping. But yeah, just very, very surreal. But I just can't get over the message really to people how this is actually a very sad event as well. This is an animal that we shouldn't have down in southwest Wales, certainly. So it is desperately sad and very unusual.
Is it sad in the sense that the walrus cannot live for very long in this environment?
We don't know, but again, obviously, I've never dealt with anything like this, and in the nicest possible way, I hope I don't ever have to deal with anything like this again. But he is in an unusual situation, isn't he? Very, very far away from home, and our best hopes are that this particular animal is able to sustain a good amount of weight and feed and forage, and is able then to hopefully at some point click in that sat-nav or road maps, sea maps, and make that way back north. That's really, really vital.
Well, it's a long journey, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed, Ellie. From the RSPCA, Ellie West, Animal Rescue and Wildlife Officer. Before Ellie, it was Alan Houlihan in Ireland, County Kerry to be precise, who spotted the walrus with his daughter Mern.
Wow.
And they took some pictures and they brought their friend down, Anthony Fitzgerald, and he did the best impression ever. Let's just remind ourselves.
Suddenly I heard